Hi, everybody. Welcome to A Pop of Culture. I am your host, the Esoteric and Facetious, and this is A Pop of Culture, where we speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a Black, bisexual, millennial perspective. Everything, and I mean everything I say, should be taken with a grain of salt, as I'm simply a college student with access to a recording device and the internet. With that being said, my youth shouldn't be your sole reason to critique my views unless it's truly relevant. If you disagree with anything, and I mean anything I say, let's have a soul conversation in the comment section below. With all that being said, if you saw the title of this video is going to be a deep dive and analysis into the YouTuber Charlie Gold, who has not been without controversy in these YouTube streets as of late. So we're going to get into that. I'll explain. If you are new to this channel and you don't know who Charlie Gold is, but you just saw the thumbnail, then, I'm going to explain everything. You don't have to have any background knowledge to, get into this video. This is not a hate video. This is not a drama video. This is just a commentary video where I'm going to be providing commentary on a YouTuber who has grown exponentially, relatively quickly, and has, done and said quite a few controversial things that, I feel a way about. So I'm just going to share my opinion. A lot of people have made videos about Charlie Gold, so I'm just going to say my piece and, move on. This channel is all about pop culture, social justice, and the human experience. And I feel like YouTube is a microcosm of the world, and a lot of things that play out on YouTube can, provide us, clarity and, on, how we interact with other people, how we engage with other people, what we do, and what we think is okay and not okay. So before I get into that, if you're interested, in that, then, definitely like this video and, comment, subscribe, and share, helps the channel a lot. If you do choose to subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified each time I upload videos like this. Before I get into the video, first I want to shout out my cover channel. I have a cover channel, Pop of Culture Sings, where I sing throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, pop music, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. I also do parodies there, so I'm going to leave that linked in the description. It's at this time the only channel in my channel section, and it'll be linked in the card, so definitely feel free to check that out. I'm someone who loves singing. Singing is a passion of mine, so definitely feel free to check that out if you would like. So now let's get into Charlie Gold. So what provoked this video was a tweet from Petty Page. I'm going to try to find that tweet so I can read it aloud for you, so I can kind of give you the driving force for this video. So I just pulled up the link. Let's see. So basically, Paige Christie, also known as Petty Page, who I've actually watched a lot of Petty Page's videos. So this is no shade to Petty Page, as a person or as a creator. This is just about the tweet that she made. Okay, I found the tweet. The tweet from Petty Page says, "People need to accept their racism, man. The hate Charlie Gold is receiving is disproportionate. Black women are treated like on this platform." So this frustrated me to the utmost because basically, who is Charlie Gold? Charlie Gold is a YouTuber. She's a Black female YouTuber who is morbidly obese, who makes reaction videos about other morbidly obese women where she degrades them, she calls them out of their name, she says rude things, and basically essentially bullies them. What she does online is bullying them. So pretty much the issue I have, and I'm going to get into Charlie, how I found Charlie's channel, my thoughts on Charlie, but the reason why this tweet started this video is because I'm going to try to contain my anger. Racism is real. I'm a Black person. I understand the systems, the powers that be that negatively impact those who are of marginalized backgrounds and experiences. But the thing, and I'm I'm trying to hold my anger in, but the thing that gets on my nerves is when people who do problematic things will try to hide behind their race, their sexuality, their gender identity, and all that type of stuff. That will get me angry. That gets me so angry, because here's my thing. Petty Page is trying to say that the hate that Charlie Gold is getting is because she's a Black woman. And here's my issue. There is racism and there is bias. And, sometimes, people will attack somebody unfairly. So let's say, let's say Jaclyn Hill does something problematic. Let's say Jackie Aina does something problematic. Jackie Aina may get more criticism than Jaclyn Hill did because she's a Black woman for doing the same exact thing. So I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, that these things don't exist. I'm not saying that that there isn't bias towards Black women. But the issue I have, and the issue I've seen consistently, is I'm not saying that Charlie Gold has not received criticism for being a Black woman, but the issue I've had is I think that I've seen Charlie Gold time and time again pull the race card when people have had valid criticisms of her that have nothing to do with her race. You can dislike Charlie Gold without it having to do with her race. I'm Black and I dislike Charlie Gold. The Sovereign is Black and she's been critical of Charlie Gold, and other Black creators have been critical of Charlie Gold. And the issue I have is if I would never do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that, because I'm going to be very real. As a young person who's growing up in 2020, there's a lot, like, I feel like I have so much privilege as a Black person. I mean, it's not, sunshine and glitter and cupcakes every day. But the issue I have with this tweet is racism exists on the spectrum, and different things can be considered racism. But I guess my thing is, it's like, I'm not going to be fixing my mouth when I know that I'm in the wrong to sit here and claim racism, when I know there are people out there who have done nothing wrong and been brutalized, been killed and murdered and stuff. So I'm not going to sit here and act like, if I'm in the wrong, because if I'm going to be in the wrong, I need to take accountability for my actions. And I feel like people like Charlie Gold are bullies online who hide behind their race whenever someone tries to call them out. And I think that's so lame, because white people can call you out on your BS if you're Black or if you're a minority. Cis people can call you out on your BS if you're trans or if you're non-binary, because being a part of a majority population doesn't mean that, and you being a part of a marginalized identity doesn't mean that somehow now any action you do towards them is acceptable. So that's all I have to say on that. That's the tweet that started this video. So how did I find Charlie? Let's get into Charlie because now that we've discussed this tweet. And no shade to Petty Page, but I still remember when she tweeted that I'd rather be called a thief than a gorilla thing, where I don't condone the way that Jackie Aina accused her of stealing and weaponized her following against her, but I also feel like justifying another Black woman being called a gorilla, and I'm not trying to hold people to the past, but I just feel like, I personally feel like you have to have self-awareness, and I feel like for Petty Page to tweet this, it appeared that she lacked self-awareness, because I'm not saying she can't speak to experiences as a Black woman, but it's like, have you watched Charlie Gold's videos? Because I feel like from an outside perspective, it may look like Charlie Gold's innocent, but she is far from innocent. So like I said, we'll get into Charlie. So how did Charlie Gold rise in prominence? Charlie Gold rose in prominence through to, I would say, 3 factors. The first thing that rose Charlie's following was a video with _Beast. So basically, _Beast is a channel where he's documented his weight loss, his fitness journey, the impact of his weight loss. He's done videos on his loose skin, and he's even done videos like before. At first he was just all about losing weight, but now he's more focused on building muscle and just having an overall healthy lifestyle. So Charlie Gold did a video with him that's called or titled "The Scary Side of Obesity" (parentheses Charlie Gold story). And this video did very well. It got 251,000 views. It was published 11 months ago. And Charlie also did a video on her channel called "The Darker Side of Obesity," which got 130,000 views. So I think Charlie, first and foremost, built a platform through working with a bigger creator, or a more followed creator. Because Obesity now has 683,000 subscribers, but he, a year ago, still had a large following. So I think that her doing that collaboration with him, number one, was the first thing that really started growing her channel. Hi, this is me in post. I want to mention, basically, this is my recollection of how Charlie Gold blew up. I may be missing something because, I'm a college student. I'm someone who has other hobbies and interests, beyond YouTube. My life goal is not to study this individual, so I may have missed out on some things, but let's not try to play the game where, actually this video was posted on May 5th of 2020, not May 6th of 2020, to try to to knock down my arguments and claims. Okay, bye. Truthful kind of, I'm gonna call it the BS, I'll keep it 100 type of attitude. I think Charlie was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people, because if you look at a lot of people who are fitness YouTubers or fitness Instagrammers, they are already 100% done with their fitness journey, or, you know, already pretty much relatively done with their fitness transformation. They look great. They look like they could be in any fitness magazine, the cover. So I think that with Charlie, we got something different. Charlie wasn't like these fat and obese people who were constantly making excuses for themselves. At least it seemed. It seemed like Charlie fully understood what came from being obese and why it was an issue and why she needed to change. And like I said, you know, a lot of these fitness people, you know, they're already kind of done. But with Charlie, it was like we could kind of join her in the journey. She said she'd already lost some weight, but she still had a lot of weight to lose. So I think in light of, you know, all the fat acceptance, health at any size, body positivity type of stuff, I think Charlie stood out because she was one of the few people a lot of us saw online that was obese, like morbidly obese, but who was really gonna not take an excuse and was gonna call things out and was going to be real about it. And I think, like a lot of people, I feel like that's like having somebody who's not all the way done with their weight loss journey, but who can be inspiring. I feel like it's very powerful. So I think that's the second reason why that Charlie was not only did not have had a viral video on somebody else's channel, but in a cosign from Obesity, who people trust a great deal, but she also, I think, was an answer to a movement that a lot of people were getting very tired with. And lastly, of course, her reaction videos. If you know anything about Charlie Gold does reaction videos, or she did reaction videos for Amberlynn, Reid, and Foodie Beauty, also known as Chantel. When Charlie introduced these reactions, they were supposed to be, as she stated, a way for her to react to basically an older version of herself. If you look at Chantel and Amberlynn, and to be honest, I don't watch either of them. I only saw them through Charlie's reactions when I did watch the few of them I watched, you know. So my thing is basically Charlie, the way Charlie explained them was, when she was obese, when she was morbidly obese, or more morbidly obese than she was now, I did a lot of the stuff that Amberlynn did. She had a lot of the similar attitudes. She was a lot in the same when it came to Amber. So she was saying basically, I can't react to my old self. Like, obviously I didn't film myself on camera. I didn't do videos, things like that, but I can react to Amber. And it was like kind of like me reacting to my old self. Because basically one of the things that Charlie Gold said was, you know, I'm going to look like the biggest hypocrite in the world if I am coming for Amberlynn for, you know, doing, you know, eating this food and doing this, and I'm not actually working on myself and losing my own weight. And that's kind of how I think a lot of other people kind of began to trust Charlie, because we were like, well, it kind of made sense. Like, it was a really interesting concept. Like, she herself was morbidly obese, but she can't, like, she didn't film it, but she could react to someone who's very similar. I think it was like an interesting concept. It was like if someone was an alcoholic and, you know, like, or there's somebody who's trying to quit alcohol and they're reacting to someone who is like intensely into alcohol, because it's kind of like, you know, it's one of those things where I don't want them to turn into, you know, I don't want to turn into the person I used to be, right? So I think that was one of the things that just intrigued me so much about the process, because, you know, because initially when we were watching if you watch Charlie Gold's reaction videos, initially she talked a lot on food and stuff, like serving sizes and stuff, and eating on camera and things like that. Like, she talked a lot on how, you know, the serving sizes Amber would use, or, you know, Amber eating out, and she just even talked about just mobility and, you know, not being able to reach certain parts and just different things like that. Like, for me, it was very interesting initially to watch Charlie Gold react to Amberlynn, because it was kind of like watching one of those like High School Musical, like, or Disney Channel movies where basically they'd have like the extra facts edition. I'm not sure what it would be called, but it was like the High School Musical, like the background experience or something. And basically it would be the same movie, but they would just have like a little like square in the corner of the box. If y'all are like around my age and watch Disney Channel, you would know. But basically, like, they had a little square in the corner, and it would tell you different neat little facts. Like, High School Musical was filmed at this school in this state, or, you know, they actually had to refilm this scene, or whatever, blah blah blah, like little cute, fun little facts, right? So my thing is, with watching Charlie's reactions and stuff, for me it was just like very much a cautionary tale of, you know, this is what it's like to actually get morbidly obese. Because that's the thing I'll say, like, that I think is so interesting. Like, with all this fat acceptance and body positivity, you will hear people so often talking about, why we should accept fat people. And like I said, I'm not anti-fat people, but I think the thing, I'm pro-health, and obviously health, it can look different on different people, but I don't buy into the health at any size movement. But my thing is, for me, with the whole talking on fat people, I think a lot of people are so busy trying to defend why it's okay for people to be fat that they don't address some of the challenges that fat people can face. So I think it was very eye-opening for when Charlie was saying things like she couldn't reach certain areas and, she couldn't walk for certain periods of time and things like that. Because it's just for me, it's I'm a young person, I'm able-bodied, I'm in good health. So it's just things because someone ate so much and has continued to eat so much and now their mobility is limited, that's crazy to me. That's crazy because it's they didn't get into an accident. They didn't, they don't have some type of condition that's, where, their muscles or their bones are deteriorating. It's basically because of what they're eating and their refusal to exercise. And that's not every case, but that's some of these cases, okay? So I think with Charlie, it was very interesting to kind of get this background perspective on the cost of obesity and, the tax and the toll that it can have on somebody's body. So it was very interesting and just hearing her say different things. So what does a Charlie Gold reaction look like? You get some of that insight and some of that, whoa, that's what it's really like to be obese. But I guess for me, here's my thing with the Charlie, what is a Charlie Gold reaction? A Charlie Gold reaction is basically comprised of, the picture-in-picture, effect of the video where basically you'll see Charlie reacting on a smaller screen to Amberlynn. And basically, you'll sometimes get insights or whatever, but the reality is Amber's videos a lot of the time are just about, her, and her friends, her and Becky, her collecting stickers, her going to, different local businesses and things like that. She unfortunately did get diagnosed with cancer. So that's been more of a focus on the channel. I think she had a hysterectomy. So those health concerns have been brought more to light. But before then, I remember she'd do things like the videos that Charlie would react to. There was I think a Halloween costume haul. There may have been a Torrid haul. There were a few things like that. And a lot of the stuff would not be related to food or dieting and stuff. So it would kind of be boring to watch because basically Charlie couldn't just make commentary about Amberlynn and her weight the entire time because if Amber's just talking about the stickers she bought or the journals she bought, there's not really a lot that you can talk about Amberlynn and her weight. So I think that kind of became, so I think that's, so there was only so much she could talk about regarding weight loss. If Amberlynn was talking about eating food or going to get out food or things like that. So slowly but surely, I feel certain, digs and jokes kind of started working their way in. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the, playful shade and, funny jokes and things like that. But I guess one of the things that I kind of felt was after a while, I started seeing less and less of this, this role where, Charlie was, trying to basically react to basically someone who was like her and who had similar habits to her. And I slowly started seeing, not everything that Charlie Gold said was cruel or hateful, Sometimes she would say, if Amber got a shirt that, she thought was cute or, her nails or her makeup was done in a certain way, then Charlie would compliment her. So it wasn't just 100% negative day in, day out all the time. But I definitely did feel there was a lot of times that Charlie would make low digs. She said, that basically that Amber's underwear looked like the tent that Tana and Jake Paul used for their wedding. She said, her undergarments looked like a tent. She said, a lot of different negative things. And slowly but surely, she turned into a bully. And basically, she used a lot of different justifications. And Charlie's not the only one to do this, but Charlie's the only one that I watched. So I'm not trying to point her out. But Charlie... And there's clips, you can see them of her. But basically, slowly but surely, Charlie's videos became basically a place where you could tune in to see Amber get brutally insulted or Chantel get brutally insulted. And the thing that Charlie and other people would use to try to justify this treatment was saying, oh, these people are monetizing their addiction. And here's the thing that I don't like about that, because it's a lot of Amber's videos were just lifestyle videos where she herself happened to be obese. Like, if you look at a lot of Amberlynn's videos and stuff, like Amber, I mean, she's got a girlfriend. She likes, buying clothes, and, she likes doing her makeup. Like, other than the fact that Amber is morbidly obese, there's not a lot that's really that interesting or different about her in comparison to other, like, white female vlogger lifestyle YouTubers. So I guess my issue is Charlie, I feel like, would make excuses and say, oh, she's monetizing her addiction. And as far as I know, it appeared like Amberlynn was making an adequate amount of money through AdSense. And I feel like my thing is, unless Amber was literally doing videos that were called, like, Feed Her, pay me to eat XYZ, I don't think that she was monetizing her addiction. I think that the thing with Amber is Amber attracted a following of people who didn't like her. That's why, people watch her, she'll get views, but her dislike to like ratio is horrendous. So I guess my thing is, and like I said, the reason why Charlie's Gold's channel was so successful was because Charlie was picking on someone who people already hated. A lot of people could not stand Amber. They insulted her. They called her out of her name. They, make memes about her. They would just try to basically dehumanize her any ways that they could. Right? So a lot of people who didn't like Amber, the second that they got a hold of Charlie Gold's channel, they were so happy because basically they had a person who disliked Amber just as much as them, who was not afraid to insult Amber or Foodie Beauty. And a lot of people, I think, and that's the thing too, like, I do think fat phobia does exist. And I think that, like I think I, of course, am somebody who is an advocate for, health and being healthy and, doing what's good for your body. But my thing is, I'm not going to sit here and play. There are a lot of people out there who will make fun of and will try to make bigger people feel less than, and who only like certain body types because of aesthetics and not really health. So my thing is, with Charlie, I think Charlie found a captive audience of people who she found multiple audiences. She found people who were inspired about her and her weight loss journey, like me and other people, but she also saw a lot of people who didn't like Amber and who were more than happy to, watch her videos and like her videos because they were doing what she was giving them what they wanted, which was critiques of Amberlynn Reid that were mean-spirited. Because even some of her videos, you look at the titles, Amberlynn Reid taste testing food when she can't even walk. Amberlynn taking her weekly bath outside. Amberlynn Reid's 10-minute video for feeders. Amberlynn Reid has no respect for Becky. Amberlynn choosing money over Becky reaction. If you look at Charlie Gold's videos, and even if you look at the titles, none of these titles, or very few of them, are correlated directly to her weight. So I guess my thing is, slowly but surely, Charlie Gold revealed herself more and more to be not this, person who was just this, friendly, kind person who was just reacting to somebody to, kind of bring back in their mind, what they act, who they were in the past. And we kind of really get to see Charlie Gold as somebody who comes off as very mean-spirited and hateful. And I think the thing that, and this was further and further shown when Charlie Gold was made aware of what people were feeling, and she basically never said, oh, I'm sorry, or I apologize. Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Charlie always kind of tried to, this is one of the things I disliked about Charlie. The thing that I disliked about Charlie was, first and foremost, she would always use the race card. When people would critique her, she'd always, try to act like, why people are only critiquing me because I'm black. And it's like, no, people are critical of several people in Haydur Nation. But the other thing too that I don't think Charlie got was, Charlie was one of the highest growing people in Haydur Nation, with over 130,000 subscribers at one point. So it's kind of like, there are probably other people out there who are making hateful videos about Amberlynn, but this person has 5 subscribers, this one has 20K. You have 130,000 subscribers. You are rivaling Amber's numbers. So I guess my thing is just like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't call out the other Amber accounts that are Amber hate accounts, but we're calling you out because I feel like that was a diversion. It's like, they're not doing the damage that you're doing. And I'm not saying we can't hold them accountable, but we can hold you accountable. And I think that that's one of the things I just really struggled with when it came to watching Charlie, because it made me so uncomfortable to listen to her constantly giving out the race card, because it's like, a lot of people subscribed to her, people embraced her, not because she was black, but because she was somebody who was taking accountability, who seemed to have respect for themselves, who seemed to have morals and integrity. That's what Charlie gave us initially. but slowly and surely she revealed herself to be who she really is. Because even when she got criticism for what she said, she basically just said, I'm sorry that y'all were offended, but this is the way that I am. And I think the biggest problem that I have with Charlie Gold was when she started, when she was so busy policing other people and what they were going to do and, calling them sodium-filled whales, but then she would cancel weigh-ins. And I also think another thing, too, I do think that therapy is important. I think if you have access to therapy, and then I think everyone should get therapy to work through stuff because life is hard. So this is not to come for Charlie for trying to get therapy. But I guess for getting therapy. But I definitely feel like Charlie, who would try to constantly police people into getting, weigh-ins and stuff, Charlie would constantly be trying to get people to do weigh-ins and things like that. But then the thing is, whenever she would not want to weigh in, she'd always turn it into, things like, my mental health this, and, my therapist said this. And I'm not saying that her therapist did or didn't say things, but it's kind of like, you didn't care about them and their mental health when you were coming after them. So it just felt like, I deserve all the sympathy in the world versus you don't get any sympathy because I don't care for you. So I guess for me, what do I want to say? What do I want to get into? What do I want to wrap this up with? My thought process is, Charlie Gold is somebody who built a brand off of, first and foremost, giving people this idea that she was going to take accountability for herself. And I do think Charlie Gold, if you look over the wide span of, the existence of her channel, it does appear she's probably lost some weight. And so I'm not saying that Charlie Gold's like a full-on liar. People have debated if she's lost and gained and things like that. But I guess my thing is with Charlie, she was basically trying to say, she was saying, I'm going to commit to this. Obesity is not good. Fat acceptance isn't good. Health at any size isn't good. But I guess my thing is, for the criticisms that she was giving other people, it never felt like she herself was really embodying what she was claiming. And I guess for me, it's just like, for me personally, I just feel like it's important to have that self-awareness and vulnerability where if you are struggling, then speak on your struggling. Don't be afraid to open up to your audience and be vulnerable with us, but don't just continually bash other people and then refuse to take accountability for yourself. So that's how I feel about Charlie Gold. I hope that she's able to lose weight to accomplish her goals and things like that. I hope that she's able to rebrand her channel. I hope that, things go well for her and she's able to, accomplish all her life goals, because I think Charlie Gold is a really powerful public speaker. Like, I remember writing that quote down and I am trying to find it. It's like, be greater than you were yesterday, today. Like, I think she's a powerful person. I think she just has to get her priorities right. And I think that she has to just realize, 30 years down the line, nobody's going to care about the fact that you said rude things about Charlie Gold. You're not building a legacy that you can, pass down generations. Like, you are a powerful public speaker. I remember watching her Smoking Shadows, or I think that's what it was called, or where she was talking about being a foster child and, how basically she was saying her and her sister, she sabotaged the whole, foster relationship because she was, scared of, opening up and being vulnerable because she had been hurt. So I think my thing is, I'm like, if you're listening to this, Charlie, you are an incredible speaker and, you have the power to move emotions. You've got the gift of gab, but you've done a lot of problematic things and you've refused to take accountability for your actions. So I hope in the future you're able to rebrand because you're talented. You have a powerful story. Even I just remember you talking about how you were how your foster parents, they were offering they wanted to come to your wedding and you were going to let them. That's a moving story. That's a moving story. I felt for you. And I think you've got the gift of gab, like I said. So if you can turn your channel around, a lot of people will come back, but you just have to realize the harm that you've done to these people. Because a lot of other people who followed you and subscribed to you may not be morbidly obese. Some of them may not be, but a lot of people who watch your channel are people who themselves have struggled with weight loss and stuff. And so when you're sitting here calling other people sodium-filled whales, it's like, you're not only, you're looking like a hypocrite, but you're also alienating your audience. So all best wishes to you and to everybody, feel like you. I think I titled this video "What I Choose to Learn from Charlie Gold," and what I choose to learn from Charlie Gold. And like I said, that's a nod on the head to her video, "What I Chose to Learn from 𝑾𝒂𝒕𝒄𝒉 Jefferson," who had apparently done a problematic rant towards Charlie. So what I choose to learn from Charlie Gold is, as a small YouTube creator, not all numbers are good numbers. I want to build a brand that, you know, hopefully one day I can eat off of, that, you know, where I can build a legacy, where I can build a name for myself. And, you know, that's my hope, that's my goal. So I think for me, what I choose to learn from Charlie Gold is you can have talent, you can have a story that matters and that's moving, but if you don't choose to utilize that story in a way that can empower you and empower others, you can get those followers, but are those followers going to be there for the long run? Because a lot of those followers have left. Those numbers have went to red on Social Blade. So I've just really learned to, you know, be more focused and be more intentional as a new person who's trying to create a personal brand, and just, you know, realize, you know, I may be able to make people laugh, but if it's not good humor, if it's not a good time for everybody, then I don't need to be engaged in that. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day or night, wherever you are. To all y'alls. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit a like. If you made it to this point, put a thumbs up emoji or I'm here in the comment section so I know that you are still rocking with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And that's all I have to say for now. But if you're having a good time, and why wouldn't you be having a good time, then you can feel free to look to your left. There's a playlist featuring all my video essay podcast. In the center, there's a button you can subscribe if you haven't had a chance to and you would like to. And in the right is a playlist of all of my covers. I have a cover channel. Don't know if I shouted it out. Pop culture things where I sing throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. So definitely consider, you know, checking out that playlist. And if you want to support me, if you want to support the show, feel free to donate to my Cash App link below, and all donors will be featured in the credits of all of my videos. Love y'all all. Bye-bye.